So another week, another budget Motorola smartphone lands at Techspert Towers. In fact, they just launched 4 fresh Moto Gs, so it looks like my entire week's going to be spent seriously fondling some affordable blowers. And £250 buys you the most premium of these new budget-friendly phones, the Motorola Moto G77, boasting the usual slick Pantone design and stock Android vibes. But how's the gaming chops, the battery life, the camera tech, and those other bits? Well, let's have a proper good squint at the Moto G77, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do plug subscribe, ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Ugh. Before we get started as well, a brief hungover uncle alert. Last night was kind of a big one, kiddies, so apologies for any grunting, swearing, excessive sweating, etc. Not that I don't do that stuff all of the time anyway. Now, one of the things I really appreciate about affordable Motorola phones is they don't actually look that dissimilar to the more premium flagshipy Moto blowers. There are some telltale signs that the Moto G77 is a bit more wallet friendly, the slightly thicker bezels surrounding that display, and the fact that you've got a plastic frame rather than metal. But hey, look at how beautifully slim the Moto G77 is. And yes, you once again get another one of those wonderful soft touch Pantone approved arses. And this feels lovely against the palm and also adds a nice bit of grip. Can get quite mucky, however, especially if you like the occasional bit of greasy fried good stuff, the odd pork scratching or chicken leg or whatever. But I do love how they integrate the camera bump into the back end. It's just a gentle slope connecting the two. The colour of that back end matches the frame as well. There are actually 2 colour options for the Moto G77. This here is the shaded spruce, which apparently captures the gentle serenity of an evergreen forest. Or alternatively, there's black olive, no serenity for you. That one presumably captures the eternal darkness of the void, sweet oblivion. That's my analysis, by the way, not Motorola's marketing guff. And despite being a skinny and light-wee chap, the Moto G77 pretty durable. You've got a Gorilla Glass 7i display, which certainly in the past has proven pleasingly scratch resistant, just as well because there's bugger all pre-installed screen protector on here. And the Moto G77 has also passed no less than 13 military standard 810H tests, just to prove what an absolute hard case it is. Can put up with all kinds of things, extreme temperatures, drops, etc. It can even survive being stuffed into your Uncle Spert's trousers for days on end, for which frankly it deserves a medal. Oh, and it's IP64 dust and splash resistant, not full-on water resistant, so don't go dropping it in a sink or a bath or a pool or whatever. If you just spill your vodka on it, it should be alright. Now, to unlock the Motorola Moto G77, it is a basic in-display optical fingerprint sensor, positioned quite low down on the display, so you do have to stretch a wee bit to actually activate it. But it seems to work okay-ish. Occasionally I'll have to tap my digit a couple of times, especially if my hands are a wee bit moist or sticky or whatever. And you've also got face unlock as well, which is okay, as long as the lighting isn't complete cack. And Motorola used to be, shall we say, a little bit pants when it came to actually keeping its smartphones updated, but thankfully times are a-changing. So even though the Moto G77 is quite a budget-friendly handset, you'll still enjoy 3 OS updates and 4.5 years of security patching, oddly specific. It's good to go until, I believe it's June 2030. Is that good maths? Yeah, I think that works. And as usual, with Motorola phones, it's quite a stock Android experience, but with a few tweaks here and there to make it a Moto blower. Ooh, half-price Dino Crisis, nice. Unfortunately, crapware has started sneaking onto Motorola phones in recent times. It's not too bad, the likes of Instagram, LinkedIn, Amazon Music, and my old nemesis Booking.Bloody.com. So that can absolutely Booking.piss right off. But the good news is you've got pretty much the full suite of Motorola's own apps here on the G77, including the likes of Family Space, you've got Moto Secure and Smart Connect. And as always, the best place to start is that Moto app, as this basically grants you quick and easy access to all of Motorola's best bits. So for instance, you can quickly and easily customize your Moto G77, right down to fiddling with the icon shapes and the fingerprint animation. One of my favourite Moto additions is the excellent gesture support, which includes, yes, that all-time classic Fast Torch. Karate chop, wah! And you can dive on into the Moto Secure features, which nicely complement Google's own built-in Android security shenanigans. And if this is your first Motorola rodeo, you got various tips on how to get on with it. And just a few wee grumbles, like for instance, there's no always on display option, which Motorola seems to hate putting on its smartphones for whatever reason. And also here in Blighty, the only storage option appears to be 128 gigs, which, I mean, that's just not good enough. That's piddly. You know, if you shoot a lot of photos and videos, that'll fill up in no time, and it'll be gone pretty much instantly if you download stuff like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves, over 50 gigs these days, so it almost takes up half the sodden smartphone. But thankfully you can at least shove a micro SD memory card into the Moto G77's second SIM slot. Expand that storage up to 2 terabytes, although you can only use this to really back up photos and videos, etc. You can't install apps onto that. But I was proper chuffed to see you've got eSIM support as well as physical SIM support here on the Moto G77. It's still quite rare at this sort of price point, but it is invaluable if you do a lot of traveling. Whenever you bugger off to a country where your SIM card is not supported, means that before you even head to the airport, you can get yourself an eSIM sorted online, and then boom, you're back on the internet the second you land. And you don't have any of the Moto AI shenanigans on here, but I'm not too bothered about that. The good news is you do have the likes of Gemini, as well as Copilot and a bit of Perplexity. So well and truly sorted for AI assistant shenanigans. Tell you one thing they can't bloody do though, and that's sort out my sodden head. And bugger all complaints when it comes to the 6.78-inch Extreme AMOLED display. Not really sure why Motorola calls it Extreme exactly, it's just very nice. I guess very nice AMOLED doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But they've gone with a 1.5K resolution, which is lovely to see on a budget-friendly handset. Means that despite the spacious size, those visuals nice and crispy. There's no love for HDR streaming in the likes of Netflix or Disney+, but the contrast still commendable. It's nice natural looking visuals. And those colours are quite poppy on the default vivid settings, but you can bump that down to natural if you want, which tones things down a bit. And that screen is certainly more than bright enough for outdoor use, although again, with the caveat that I'm just surviving in the UK in February at the moment. And so I can't testify as to how it'll handle Barbados in the summertime or anything. And it's certainly fine in perpetual gloom. But it is absolutely retina combustion when you max out that brightness, and as you can see there, not phased at all by the fierce studio lights. And also gets reasonably dim for a bit of evening viewing. You got the usual eye comfort features as well, including flicker prevention if you're a bit more sensitive to OLED displays. And your standard refresh rate shenanigans as well. It's typically at 60Hz, but can bump up to 120Hz when required for a more silky smooth experience. Or you can actually stick on the hyper smooth mode, have it running at 120Hz full time. And for the audio, you've got yourself a stereo speaker experience here on the Moto G77, although as with a lot of more affordable smartphones, it's quite an imbalanced setup. So that bottom speaker certainly pulling most of the weight. You bump that volume all the way up, certainly you get a lot of audio. It's pretty bloody loud, but it's also quite tinny, quite distorted, so I prefer having it a couple of notches down, or it is significantly quieter. And also everything's a lot clearer, not quite as nasty on the ears. You've got Dolby Atmos support, the Bluetooth streaming's absolutely fine. Bugger all headphone jack though. And for the performance, it's Mediatek's Dimensity 6400 that's stuffed inside of the Motorola Moto G77. Been used on a few budget-friendly Realme and Tecno smartphones so far. The everyday running's absolutely fine, but you will see the occasional bit of slowdown under heavy use, especially for instance using the old camera app if you're tapping away trying to get lots of portraits on the go. And that right there is an absolute keeper. And sometimes even simple stuff like just deleting lots of photos in a row can sometimes be a little bit slow, shall we say. But hey, as long as you're not horrifically impatient, you should get on absolutely fine with the Moto G77. And if you are a gamer, well, optimized Android titles like Call of Duty and PUBG run absolutely perfectly. You can stick it on the higher graphics settings and it'll still maintain a smooth frame rate, no worries, even if you're gaming for well over an hour. Of course, if you want to play more demanding fare like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, well, you'll definitely have to temper your expectations, because these generally run like a constipated granny with knackered knees. Even on the lower graphics settings, Wuthering Waves is a bit of a juddery mess, so I'd certainly skip that one. And I was pleased to see Motorola's Game Time feature back in action. And this can boost the performance when needed, and you've got some handy tools to block calls and notifications, record the action, etc. The phone can get a wee bit warm when gaming, but nothing too troubling. And as for the battery tech, well, it's a 5,200 milliamp hour battery stuffed into that skinny chassis, which is actually kind of a measly capacity these days, certainly compared with a lot of Chinese rivals. For instance, I just reviewed a Realme smartphone with a 10,000 milliamp hour capacity, almost double this. But actually it's fine, because the Moto G77 proves that numbers aren't everything. The battery life on this thing is fantastic still. There's even super demanding users like myself will happily make it through a long intensive day on a full charge of this thing. And that's with like 6, 7, 8 hours of screen on time, plenty of camera play, a bit of video chatting, some gaming on the side. And if you are a bit more chill, well, you could well make it through a full weekend on a single charge of the G77. Helped along by various factors like the energy efficient chipset, the fact that there's bugger all always on display, of course. If you are running low on juice, well, it's 30 watt wired charging support, so not the nippiest, that's for sure when it comes to recharging, and there's bugger all wireless charging support. Although, hey, that's still pretty rare at the sub £300 price point. And let us conclude this lovely wee video on the Motorola Moto G77 by having a good hard squint at the camera tech. And what you've got here is a 108 megapixel primary shooter and the usual Motorola camera app. Plenty of camera modes to play around with, including of course a portrait mode. You've got a dedicated pro mode, which can capture raw format images if you want. You've got the usual white balance, shutter speed, ISO levels, etc. to tinker with. You can shoot at the full 108 megapixel resolution as well, as long as the lighting is decent. And for my testing, I just left it in the photo mode, and the Moto G77 is a perfectly acceptable budget snapper. Don't expect particularly crispy detail even in quite strong light, and HDR type conditions do sometimes throw it off, so you'll see some saturation and also quite a lot of murk. But it can pump out some respectable enough portrait snaps, got quite natural looking colours. And it's got the usual caveats about making your subject stay as still as possible, because any motion tends to result in a bit of blurry bollocks. And of course, yes, in the evenings and in crappier light, you can expect a fair amount of noise and grain to invade your photo. And there's no telephoto lens here, but you can pinch into a 3x zoom level and enjoy reasonably crisp results still. Although again, those detail levels slightly lacking when you check out your photos on a big screen. And you do have a basic 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter if you want a slightly different viewpoint. And you can shoot your home movie shenanigans at up to 2K resolution, as I'm doing right now. That's capped at 30 frames per second. You can lower it to full HD resolution and then boost the frame rate to 60 FPS if you like. But at the 2K level, the stabilization's pretty good and the audio pickup's fine as well, as long as it's not too blustery or anything, then you get that horrible distortion.
Hopefully my commentary is coming through nice and loud.
And then around the front end of the Moto G77, you've got yourself a 32 megapixel selfie shooter. You can use this to once again record yourself at 2K resolution at 30 frames per second, but if you bump down to full HD, there's no 60 FPS option. And you know, it's okay for a bit of video chatting and stuff, but I wouldn't use it for vlogging. Colors are a little bit lifeless and there's quite a lot of noise usually as well. Hopefully you can see it sort of around this sort of general area. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a delicious wee nutshell is the fresh new Motorola Moto G77. Another absolute stunner at this budget price point, has to be said. Motorola do make the best looking budget phones. And cracking AMOLED display, but apart from that, nothing really particularly stand out here, to be honest. The battery life is pretty good. Performance is okay. The camera tech is serviceable. Although, as always, I do love the stock Android vibes on here with some of those Moto bonuses, and it's great that they're actually finally giving you years of support rather than pretty much bugger all. That's what this old northern knacker reckons anyway. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on the Moto G77 down in the comments below. I'm hoping to update my best budget smartphones video roundup as well, so stay tuned for that. And please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everybody. Love you.